Hello, welcome to another video. It's John, small town, small time bookseller here with another video. Going to take you through the wild ride that is selling books on the olden eBays. It's scintillating entertainment at all times. And we're going to get into it in just a minute because that is what I do. I live for these moments. There's nothing else. I'm pretty much just sitting, in a closet, contemplating life and the population explosion and staring at my feet and some negative dancing, and that's about it until I come out and I go, video. I get to make a video. Oh, and that's me. Because I don't do any garage sale videos. I don't do yard sale videos. I don't do, the videos of the GoPros at the good old bands that are looking at your hands. Many were painted, some were badly nicked and scarred, certain ones were rigged with wire, and a few were buckled with moisture, and others were still perfect after decades. Yes, those perfect after a decade hands do not do those kind of videos, although I like to watch them. But nope, I just do these where I buy stuff, sell stuff, and tell you all about it, and we're going to get into it. So, is there anything else we need to go over? So this is going to be beginning of April, and I'm going to do the second video for the second half of April, right, as soon as I'm finished with this one. So they'll come out, probably within 5 or 7 days or so after this one. You'll get the second half of April. So, and then we'll try to catch up, as always. Hey, if you check out my hat. This is Stanton's Feed and Seed. It's Feed and Seed in Alvin, Texas, the home of Nolan Ryan. Alvin, Texas, 7922. Stanton Feed and Seed. I've got this listed on my store, my eBay store, for some horrifically astronomical price. But if you, as the kind viewer that you are, would like it, $5. Just look it up, send me an offer, $5, tell me that you're a viewer, and it be yourn. So, all right, we're gonna get into the books that sold. Well, let me give you an update on my T.S. Eliot book. So, for those of you who didn't watch the video, I found an autographed T.S. Eliot book from 1930, and limited copies, only what was it, 250 or 300 that were signed. That were numbered and signed. Mine was not numbered, is out of series, but it was still signed. And I've been trying to get information about it. I had a lot of really good information from you guys, some really great ideas about where to go for possible pricing. And I basically, the common theme was price it high and see what happens. So I did reach out to Sotheby's to see if they would be interested in auctioning it. They were not. They wrote back and just said, we really can't value it, and aren't interested in auctioning it off. So they recommended finding an auction house that may be more specific to books. So, I thought about that, but I just, I put like 3,500 on it and listed it. So it's gotten views, it's gotten some watchers. I'll come down on the price and see what happens. I'll keep you updated on it though, but it is listed, as well as I went and listed all that art that I had that we couldn't figure out to do. I figured if any of it sells, I'm just gonna bubble wrap the heck out of it, cardboard the heck out of it, and hope for the best. So I have those 3 pieces of art listed as well. And so yeah, so this first half of April, kind of interesting. Pretty much a pretty big not a book selection here. There was 23 sales total. 9 not a books for $225, and 14 books for $512.25. So a lot of not a books in here. So we're gonna go through them. Are you ready? All right. First off, I did have a couple of SIM cards that sold. Done enough of those. But those are in the total calculation. So those are $7.75 each. So then the first book that sold is this one. This is the FM 2176 Survival U.S. Army Field Manual from 1970. and that sold for $8.75. A lot of times Army issued things, even really old ones, this isn't particularly old, but really old ones, they issued them to millions of people. So like we have some old World War I cots that you think, wow, that's pretty cool. World War I cot must be worth, you know, a ton of money. No, they made millions of them, and they were built to last. So they just don't have value. And things like anything that's Army, that's issued out to Army people, members, soldiers, or wherever, you know, in there, they put out so many of them that a lot of times they're just not worth a lot of money. So something like this is a training department, U.S. Army field manual. Tons of them must be around for it to only be, you know, $8.75 is what it sold for. Anyhow, all right, my first hat of this time period sold, and this was a Phillips 66 hat. I get a lot of these oil company hats around here where I live. That sold for $12. And then we had another book, The Best Cartoons of the Year 1966, sold for $12 as well. Then we had another hat. This was a Sherwin-Williams hat, sold for $15. This was brand new, had like the little cardboard inside and everything. Yeah, brand new hat, sold for $15. I picked this one up, this next one up. This is called a vintage Fostoria Black Amethyst Glass Trophy Vase from the 1920s, Art Deco, sold for $15. I picked that up at the regular old Goodwill, the one in Lake Jackson. I don't get a whole lot of stuff there anymore because they're pretty lame. But I did get this for, I probably spent $3 or $4 on it, and it sold for $15, so not a great pickup, but it did sell, so I was happy about that. Another hat. This is a Chevron Port Arthur refinery hat, so $17.50 for another. Like I said, we get a lot of oil company stuff around here in this part of Texas. Then we had a book called Nicole's Guide to Paris, 1951. This sold for $19 and was pretty heavily damaged. If you find this book in really good condition, it can go for quite a bit more. Mine was falling apart, and it still sold for $19. Dr. Sebi is a name you want to look out for. Dr. Sebi 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse sold for $20. I have sold several Dr. Sebi books on different nutritional, I don't know, not guides, but they're usually cookbooks and things. But that is a name that seems to sell pretty well. Let's see. I had a Charles Dickens sold for $20. This was 2 volumes of Oliver Twist and the Old Curiosity Shop, sold for $20. I don't remember what year those were, but I didn't have it here. And then we had the Fundamentals of Anatomy, sold for $22. That was a paperback. And this is a pretty cool one. I wish that this one wasn't in plastic. I would have been interested to look through it. But it was a premiere movie script of Return of the Jedi, 1995, a collector's edition, because it came out in 1995, but $22.50 for that, so that's kind of cool. Then we had an autographed book, A Guy Called Jimmy by B.F. Witt, The True Story of a Texas Cowboy, and that was autographed, and actually was autographed by me, so I was more than happy. No. It was actually autographed by the author, B.F. Witt. So sometimes books that you may never have heard of, like A Guy Called Jimmy, being autographed, you know, it didn't add a whole lot of value. It still only sold for $25, but if you're going to buy it, you're going to go ahead and buy the one that's autographed. I mean, why not? So even though it doesn't add a lot of value, it makes it more likely to sell. And then what is this? Oh, a DVD. The Systema Spetsnaz, Beyond the Physical, Russian Martial Arts DVD, sold for $25. So look out for them Russian martial arts stuff. Any kind of martial arts. I sell a lot of martial arts things. Yeah, DVDs, books, you know, things like that. And then we had our first religious book of the day, The Collected Works of St. John of the Cross from 1991. No, revised 2017. Paperbacks over $27.50. So that was a good one. And then, equally as interesting, the report on the sanitary conditions of the laboring population of Great Britain. So for $27.50. That actually was a really interesting book. I wish I could remember the date, but it was an older book. It was like turn of the century, the previous century, like 1900. And it's the report on the sanitary condition of the laboring population of Great Britain. And I bet the report, it was probably not a real jolly report to read through. I sold a painting. This is a Harrison Begay Navajo serigraph, framed full, girl in fold. I got 2 of these at the SPCA thrift store down in Freeport. Like, you know where Freeport is? Not, right down there. And I was hoping to sell them together, but this person just wanted one of them. And so I still have another Harrison Begay, I guess it's called a serigraph. I don't know exactly what that means, but. And then we had a face reading in Chinese medicine books sold for, how much? $38. 38 bucks is pretty good. Here's another good one. Any older books on football, if you get it old enough, those do really well. So this one was Fuzzy Woodruff's History of Southern Football from 1890 to 1928. And I had volumes 2 and 3, and they sold for $60 for the 2 of them. So looked all over the Goodwill bins for book 1 and could not find it. If I'd had all 3 of them, obviously it would be worth quite a bit more, but still $30 a piece for the 2 volumes that I had. All right. Emeralds, a passionate guidebook, first edition. Sold for $80. This one surprised me that it had that much value and that it sold for that much. Just a guidebook on emeralds. It didn't seem that special, but it was. So you just never know. All right, we got 2 more sales. First one is these little model cars that I picked up at the little thrift store near my work. I probably paid, again, $3, $4 for this. This is Paul's Model Art Mini Champs 2008 Boxster and a 1960 Spider Porsche, and they sold for $90. So these are 2 cars in one box, little plexiglass top to it, and little signs on them. So pretty cool display piece. And then the last sale was actually a lot of 7 books. So somebody reached out and said, hey, I would really dig to having all these 7 books. You listed them in the message. Can you combine shipping? And I was like, absolutely. I'll give you a little discount. Add them up together, gave 20% off, and combined the shipping on those. And they were all older medical books from like the 50s, 60s era. And I tried to find the titles, but I couldn't find them. But they were just older medical books. So older medical books are great ones to pick up. I haven't found any recently. I keep wishing I had. So that's the first half of April, and that was a total of 9 sales, not a books for $225, which, just to make it easy on myself, I went $25 average. Who wouldn't be able to do that? And I was able to. So $25 average on those, just nailed that once again. Book sales were $512, which averaged out to $36.59. Is that right? Could that be correct? It seems to be a little high, but no, maybe not, because a lot of those lower sales were hats and things. So we'll believe it, at least for now. Got another question. You guys have given me such good information on other things that I don't know where to go to for so to get values on. So a little thrift store around the corner from where I work, and I bought this watch for $1. Okay, so you probably can't really see it very well. Is it even upside down? No, it's right side up. So it looks like it could be real silver, And on the watch face, it's got some sparkly bits on it. And I don't know. I would assume those are not diamonds, but you never know. And the only thing it says on the front is, it says Imagine right there. And on the bottom it says Japan Movement. So, and on the back, it has nothing at all on the back. I have looked to see if Imagine is a watchmaker, a Japanese watchmaker. But there are a lot of watches with Imagine, as in the John Lennon song Imagine, and you just can't get anywhere without looking for Imagine Japanese watchmaker. So I wonder, the fact that it has Japan Movement on it, does that mean it would say Japanese watchmaker? Obviously, if it's a Swiss movement, watchmakers all over the world would use Swiss movement. So maybe it doesn't necessarily mean it's a Japanese maker. But any ideas of where you would go to find information on vintage watchmakers? So I might just take this into a jeweler, see if they would be able to look at it and see if it's actually silver, see if there could possibly be tiny little diamonds in there. And we'll see. But it's an interesting piece. I thought it's worth $1 to, check it out. And yeah, so that's my question for you today. And all right, so I'm going to close this one out here. It's a little bit shorter. You're welcome. And I'm going to do the second half of April right now. And we will see you next time. I will have a different hat, but probably the same shirt. So don't give me any guff about it. You can give me all the guff. I can take guff. Hope you're selling the heck out of a bunch of stuff. And I hope to see you sooner rather than later. I'm looking for my clicker because I have a clicker now. And we'll see you next time.